Welcome to the Audio Inc. Radio podcast, featuring interviews with the biggest names in rock and metal, hosted by Anne Erickson.
Get inked. Visit Facebook.com/Audio Inc. Radio, Twitter.com/Audio Inc. Radio, and AudioIncRadio.com for more ink. Whew, that's a lot of ink. It's AudioIncRadio.com.
Don't mind me, I'm eating candy corn, as always, which I always have to do this time of year, but don't worry, you won't hear it on the mic or anything. I just have it way off to the side. I love candy corn and I have no regrets, or I'm not ashamed. I know a lot of people hate it, but it is close to Halloween and I've got to eat my candy corn. But in other news, I'm Anne Erickson. As always, it's great to hang out with you and got an awesome guest. As always, I've had some amazing guests on the podcast lately. If you missed, by the way, my interview with Rob Halford from Judas Priest, you need to get on that right now. Just check it out. It's a few episodes down. Rob Halford, an amazing person, just very gracious on the interview. And we talked about his new memoir, Confess, which is an awesome read. And I also have a tribute to Eddie Van Halen up on the podcast, which you can check out. I kind of reminisce about the one time that I got to see Van Halen live, which was 2015. I think it was in September, and it was a life-changing experience. Check out the podcast and you can hear why it was such a major moment for me. That said, today we have an amazing guest who has been on the podcast before, LJ from Sevendust. Lots of excitement around this new Sevendust record, their 13th studio record, which it's hard to believe that these guys just churn out album after album, and every single one is so good. I mean, they're Grammy nominated at this point, and I've heard the entire new record, which is Blood from a Stone. It sounds great. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite Sevendust albums. My favorite one is Seasons. I think the reason it's my favorite is because when I first got into radio, Seasons was just breaking, and it was such an exciting time for me. And Sevendust is very melodic on Seasons. It's kind of one of their more quote unquote mainstream releases, but one of the first records that I ever played on the radio was Seasons, so that will always have a special place in my heart. What's funny is that if any other Sevendust album reminds me of Seasons, it's this one, Blood from a Stone, because it's very melodic. LJ does a lot of singing on here, which I'm a big fan of his voice. I mean, he has one of the greatest, most powerful, soulful voices in rock music, in metal music, in my opinion. He has his own unique style. You can just tell it's him the moment that he sings, and I think he's one of the greatest vocalists out there right now. So if you are like me and a fan of Seasons, you are going to love Blood from a Stone, which is out on this Friday, actually October 23rd. Or maybe you're listening to the podcast after the record is out, in which case you could get it right now. But very happy to have LJ on the show. I remember my first time seeing Sevendust. At first, I thought maybe it was at the Machine Shop, because I know that I've seen a lot of different bands at the Machine Shop over the years in Flint, which is just a great Flint venue. I'm glad to see that. Looks like they're still going to make it through COVID craziness, because they're legendary. They have to make it through. They just have to. But I have seen Sevendust at the Machine Shop, but I'm pretty sure my first time seeing them was at Harpos in Detroit, which is a very, I don't know, I haven't been there in a while, so I don't want to say that it's still this way, but at the time that I went to Harpos, it was so dangerous. I mean, people got shot outside of Harpos. It was a very dangerous club, and I don't know what I was thinking, frankly. I went all alone. I met up with my friend there, who was awesome. My friend Rebecca, she made sure that I would get in safely and stuff when I arrived, but what was I thinking going out to Harpos by myself? That said, it was an incredible night of music. Sevendust headlined, and I don't even remember many of the other bands. I remember A New Revolution was the opening act, Not sure if you remember those guys. A New Revolution. I used to really dig them. I was actually friends with a few of them, but we fell out of touch. But they were the opening band. And for the life of me, I cannot remember who the middle band was. I bet I could probably look it up online. But I do know that Sevendust headlined. They brought that amazing melodic metal music to Harpos. And it was an incredible night because the thing about Harpos, they have great sound. Even though I put my life in jeopardy by going to that show, the sound was great and I did make it home okay. Granted, there was lots of construction and somehow I got taken off the freeway and wound up in some Detroit neighborhoods that were not exactly the safest place for me, but I was able to get out of there. I had my little Pontiac Sunfire at the time, my bright red Pontiac Sunfire. Got out of there, got home safe at like 3 a.m. or something crazy. But it was a great night. And I just remember from that moment on, I was a huge Sevendust fan. And I know a lot of my friends love Sevendust. I know you probably are a fan of Sevendust. Very happy to have the voice of Sevendust, LJ, on the show to talk about Blood and Stone, which I think that I actually said Blood from a Stone was the record, but it's not. That is their rock hit, their current single, Blood and Stone. That's the name of the new album, which is awesome. I've heard the whole thing, heard it a while back. I got an advanced copy and you will not be disappointed, especially if you like the more melodic side of Sevendust. Lots to talk about with the new record and LJ working on a new solo, his debut solo record. And the guys covered Soundarden, which is very ambitious and very cool. They did a great job. Lots to talk about with LJ from Sevendust. You are in for a treat. It's Anne Erickson. As always, it's great to rock with you. Don't forget to subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button wherever you rock out to podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever you peep your podcast. Also leave a 5-star review. It's been a while since we've gotten a 5-star review, so I would definitely appreciate a new one up there. If you can do it, you will be my best friend. Also, don't forget to find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Audio Inc. Radio, which is where you can find some video interviews that you don't find on the podcast. For example, I've got Will messaged me on Facebook and wanted me to interview a member of Blue Oyster Cult, which I'm doing, and you're going to be able to see that video interview at youtube.com/Audio Inc. Radio, which was an awesome suggestion because all of the band members, the ones who are currently in Blue Oyster Cult and those who are not, have a lot going on right now. So thank you, Will, for getting in touch. And if you want to get in touch, shoot me a message on Facebook. You can link up on all of my personal socials at the website itsmeanne.com. That's itsmeanne.com. itsmeanne.com. Twitter and Snapchat at Anne Erickson. Instagram at Erickson. And without further ado, it's LJ from Sevendust.
This is LJ from Sevendust. You listen to Audio Inc. Radio with Anne Erickson. Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
You know, hanging in there, trying to navigate through life as well as I can.
I know. That's the best one can do this crazy year, you know?
Absolutely.
It's great to talk with you. How is the Sevendust camp doing this year amid all the wild craziness of coronavirus?
You know, everybody's staying healthy and as sane as they possibly can with their families. And, you know, like I said, just trying to navigate through life in this new nightmarish of a world that we're living in. As far as we are, you know, we're excited, you know, on the good side of things. We're excited about the release of Blood and Stone, Blood from a Stone on October 23rd, which is a very big deal for us to even still be able to release it with what's going on right now. I just feel, honestly, in my opinion, that we all need music, and music is a healer, and so hopefully this will, you know, brighten up some days.
Oh, I know it will. And tell me about the decision to put it out now instead of holding on to it for a while. Because a lot of bands, you know, are doing that.
Yeah, I just feel we've been holding on to it for so long now. Just kind of feel like it's time. If it hasn't changed, I feel like, you know, we have to get something out there, some type of something. You know, music is in us. So we'll be able to do this, and, you know, we just want to continue to be able to write and to make it, to still be relevant. And I feel like you have to put music out still. You can't wait too long, because I feel like we've been lucky enough to be a band for 20 something years, but a lot of these bands, people forget, unless you put on the show with some bombs and some rockets, and you did a backflip off of something and landed on your guitar player, they're not going to really remember.
Well, this is actually Sevendust's 13th studio album, which is so hard to believe. That's so great, a great accomplishment. What do you think makes what makes this record different from what Sevendust has done in the past?
I feel like we've just, we've grown. It's just not artists, but men. Personally, I feel like we're seasoned, if that makes sense. Or maybe we're just like an old wine. I just feel like, we've had time to know each other. We're brothers, if anything. Sorry, one of my dogs barking upstairs. So it goes in. It's easy for us when we're in the studio. It's like a well-oiled machine. Once we get back in there, that's where the magic happens, when we're looking at each other. And then it always reminds me of when we first got together. Whenever we get together, as long as we've been together, it's just because there's a certain light that comes on. So it's always been great to have that.
One track that's drawn a lot of attention is your cover of Soundarden's "The Day I Tried to Live," which is an awesome cover, by the way. I really love it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell me, what was it like covering such a legendary, not just song, but also a legendary voice of Chris Cornell?
The hardest thing probably I've ever done. I didn't, when a song got mentioned, I was like, oh, wow, that's great. It don't matter. I would love to hear any Soundgarden or Chris Cornell song to cover. But I said, but who's going to sing it? And everyone would have to say, you. And so it kind of gave me anxiety. I pushed the song back into the very last track, because, I had to go into it thinking, okay, listen, I can't outdo Chris Cornell. I wouldn't even want to try to outdo Chris Cornell. It's not even about that. It's about me paying homage to someone that I love, someone that I feel is an influencer of our genre of music that will, to the end of time. So I just had to go in and do it my way, Lajon Witherspoon, in the Sevendust way, and hopefully everyone will like it. I feel the lyrics are so timeless and fitting with what's going on in even the world today, that it was very important for us to at least put this song out first before everything, what's going on.
So my personal favorite track on the record is "Criminal." So yeah, I know, different, right? But can you tell me about the meaning behind that track?
It's just not, I feel like, you can call someone a criminal with anything that they do. And if that makes sense, and I think a lot of times that it's a very harsh word, but you can be a criminal in anything in your life that you do, but it's just the way that you go about it. Do
you have a personal favorite song off the new record?
I feel like just because we've been waiting so long, that all these songs to me are my favorite, because we haven't been able to really jam together. But when I listen to the album, I love everything about it, just because, I think that might have to do with this pandemic, and like I said, us not seeing each other for 6 to 7 months now, I think it's been. So I'm in love with the whole album. Criminal, like you said, Criminal is one of my favorite songs. Blood from a Stone. I can go down the list. Yeah, I think all these tracks. I'm just excited for everyone to hear everything.
Did you guys record this actually before the lockdown?
Luckily enough, we were able to record it before the lockdown, and I think right after we recorded, that's when everything went, that's when the world changed overnight. So we were lucky. We were in beautiful Florida, in the mansion, out by the pool at night, grilling and jamming, waking up, working out, and doing music from noon until midnight, and then came home and the bottom fell out of everything.
Oh, wow. Well, it's so good you guys did that before everything went crazy.
Yeah, it would have definitely been a weird experience. And so we were very lucky on that, of course, the outcome.
So listening to this album, I feel like it's very melodic. I mean, you guys are always melodic, but I do feel like it's one of your more melodic records. Would you agree?
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some elements of melodic. Yeah, I feel like I actually got to sing a lot more on this album too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more melody. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I definitely feel we have our Sevendust heavy hitters where some of those guys are like, man, this album's too melodic. Well, then you got some tracks on there that's gonna bang it too. So I just feel like it's a growth of the band. I feel like not everything has to be all balls to the wall and ripping your face off. At this point of our lives anyway, there's so many different things that inspire us, from our kids to our wives. They've always inspired us. Our kids, they're growing, so there's different things that are important, and so that might cause things to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit, if I had to put it next to a previous Sevendust record, a little bit of Seasons. Just a little.
Oh my God, thank you. I love it. Season was my favorite album. That was great. Working with Butch Walker, which is one of my buddies still to this day. Yeah, that's great. Wow, no one said that. So thank you very much. No one's really heard it. So yeah, that's cool. That's a cool comparison though.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad. So Sevendust, you guys have been a band for so long. What is your secret to staying together when so many other bands have fallen by the wayside?
Oh my God, I don't know. I just feel like we're a band. I feel like those other people that have this, you can't just call yourself a band just because you got a group of people together. I think it's a group. I feel like you have to have a band when you've gone through a lot of things together. Not only the good times but the bad times. You've seen life together. You've seen death together. You've helped each other. I feel like we've done all those types of things over the last 25 years, and that. I feel the reason why I can say I'm very proud to be in Sevendust the band, not Sevendust the group. You know what I mean? I feel like there's some bands out there. There's a lot of bands out there, and there's a lot of groups. So I think it takes heart. I think it takes compassion. I think it takes respect to treat each other equally. Like what we're trying to do in the world today. I feel like that's something that's kept us together. There's not one guy with a Ferrari and another guy with a Hyundai, which those are nice cars too. But I'm just saying, that's a big scheme of things. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that's kept us together too. Is that not one guy's better or feeling better. It's just we're a bunch of brothers. When we get in a room, sometimes it feels like even though we're older men, now we're old men. I still feel like we're those kids that were in the rec room, wondering how we were going to pay rent for the month. What show we're going to play, and it's a good feeling to still have even after all these years.
So I know you've been working on a debut solo record for a long time. What is the status on that?
Oh, wow. I think it's always done pretty much, I'm excited about it. Of course, you have to give, people, while I'm waiting, there's labels. It's really exciting for me, how do I say it, to have labels interested in signing me as a solo artist is really fun and exciting. I've been working with a great friend of mine, Sahaj, the singer of the band Raw, and also a great producer and writer. We have another batch that we are going to write. I think we have like 4 more songs that we just want to put together, and we've kind of been waiting for things to slow down. So he's going to come into town probably in another few weeks, and we're going to finish it up. But I'm not in a hurry. Sevendust is the most important thing. Music is there. I'm there. I'm ready. I'm excited again about signing the deal with whoever is out there that's ready to rock with LJ, and get my music out there. It's fun. It's exciting. I think it's not too far away from the avenue of Sevendust. Family members out there that love Sevendust can still rock it. And it's cool.
How would you say the solo material stands apart from what you do in Sevendust?
I don't know. It's me. It's the same dude.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like this is more. I don't know. Is it, I think it's more radio friendly. Even though Sevendust is on radio, I just feel like the songs are even more radio friendly than Sevendust. You might not hear any screaming and stuff in it. And maybe not as metal, but there's some metal elements in it.
Based on what you're hearing in the industry, do you have any idea when traditional concerts and stuff might be back?
I have no idea, and I can only pray that we do the right thing as far as all those human beings out there and aliens or whatever they are. Wear the mask. I have no idea. I wish I could say we could be going on tour next month because everyone's doing the right thing and it's gone. And or open up something in some type of capacity. I know the only thing they've been doing now is drive-in things, and who knows how long that's going to last. So I just sit back and I watch and I pray, because I definitely would not allow, or any of us in this organization of Sevendust, to endanger danger to people out there or ourselves. So we definitely have to wait and sit back to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and then, but, and it's weird. We're going to be doing this show, which I'm excited about, but there's not going to be anybody there, the live stream, except the band and the crew, like a very limited crew, maybe 3, and then the film crew.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to wear masks and stuff, and I'm going to be rocking out to people in their living rooms in a big room by ourselves. But we're going to put on a show. We're going to give it all, and and hopefully everyone will enjoy it. And I know it's going to be strange for everybody, but hopefully this will be something to put a little buffer, and you can see that the band was still alive. No one's like on crutches or anything, and we might have a few more gray hairs, but we're still rocking.
Yeah, and it'll be the first time that fans can hear these new songs live too.
Oh yeah, oh my God, that's right. It's gonna be the first time that we've been jamming them live again since we did the album. Think about, we rehearse them in our homes and stuff, in our studios that we have in our houses, but it's definitely gonna be weird to get back with the band and that zone of. You still got your rock moves? I don't know. Does this look cool? Somebody might say, "No, that looks weird. That was cool." When we used to do it, but I don't know about that now. Are you gonna wear that? Just kidding.
That's awesome. What are your thoughts on the great Eddie Van Halen passing away? That was so huge.
What a big deal. What an incredible artist, person. I was lucky enough to personally know him, so to know his family. I think that he's definitely someone that will never be forgotten. His music is timeless. His theme is timeless. So it's definitely a damper on the music industry. But like I said, his legacy will go on forever and ever and ever. No one will ever forget Eddie Van Halen or Van Halen.
Where were you when you found out? And what was your reaction?
Very saddened. Of course, we knew that he wasn't doing well. And he had a struggle. But I was here at my home. We did saw it. We got a text, but I'd already had just seen it on social media. But it was kind of odd that I just had seen it on social media. Then we had a group text from just to the band, and it was very sad. Just one of those things that we go through in life. And sorry's not enough, but I definitely understand how his family feels, and I'm very sorry for the loss. His energy was incredible. When he walked in a room, you knew that it was so weird that he was such an amazing. This is Eddie Van Halen, but you wouldn't think it when you were there in the room with him. He was so cool and humble, and I got the chance to introduce him to one of my best friends, older guys, Dave Babel. I don't know how old Dave is now. He's maybe in his 60s. And Van Halen, they were coming through in Orlando, and I just happened to be in town. That was actually the first time I met Elvis, I believe, in we really got to talk. But anyway, Dave's like, Van Halen's in town, man. I can't believe it. They're here, and you're here. And I said, oh my God, let me give Wolfie a call and see what's going on. Sure enough, get down here, man. So me and Dave go down to Orlando, and was it Orlando? No, maybe it's Tampa. No, it was Tampa. I'm sorry, we went to Tampa, and Dave's like, you think I'm gonna get to meet him? I'm like, yeah, man. We're gonna be backstage. We're going to the dressing room right now. He's freaking out. He can't believe it. I can't believe I'm remembering this right now. So it's this huge arena, and we're walking backstage. Security's taking us back, and Dave's like, oh my God, is this happening? I'm like, yeah, let's go. We're going to Wolfie's dressing room, and so we're giving hugs, and Dave's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is his son, and he's kind of, he's being cool. And, whatever, we're talking and hanging out, having a beer and stuff. And next thing you know, the door opens up, and there's Eddie with 2 beautiful little Pomeranian puppies and his wife. And I remember, we're talking and hugging and saying hello, and Dave was just quiet like a kid in a candy store with the biggest smile. And I said, I want you to be one of my best buddies. And Eddie goes over and shakes his hand, and they talk for a minute, and I guess right after that, Dave was like, man, I could die now. Thank you. You have no idea what thank you for that. Whatever, so no big deal. After the show, this is what really gets me. After the show, we're getting ready to leave. We're saying goodbye to Wolfie. Oh, man, that show was great. Oh, my God, thank you. The harmonies were incredible. You played, your dad, everybody, we love you guys. Peace out. And he's like, hold on, Dad wants to say goodbye. What? And Dave's like, what? And he comes back in, and we're saying goodbye, and he looks over and says, hey, Dave, it was really nice to meet you.
Wow.
And so that right there, to me, it makes me want to cry just because that was such an important time for my friend's life, and he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to remember his name. He's Eddie Van Halen. He could have just said, whatever. But that was really cool to see and to be a part of that.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like he was just a good person. Everyone knows him as a great musician, but as a person, he was good.
Yeah, he was good. I remember, too, in L.A., he was out at a Sevendust show at the Old House of Blues. I wish it was still there. And my wife now was my girlfriend, and I'd flown her out to California. And Eddie was in the dressing room with us. We were all hanging out, and she had this beautiful suede jacket on, and there was a bottle of wine or something got spilled on her jacket, and it was Eddie.
Oh.
And she's like, "Oh my God, who is that? What did he just do to my jacket? My mom just got this for me." And I was like, "Calm down, it's Eddie Van Halen." She's like, "Who? Who is that? What does that even mean? Look at this jacket that he wears."
That is awesome.
It was a great story. We had such a great time, and we still laugh about that night because she's like, "Who?" But anyway, yeah, that's funny. We talk about that every once in a while. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of good stories. Jay was a beautiful person.
You open up on social media a lot, and you get very personal. So I'm wondering, how does it feel to let fans into your life like that? Because I do think that fans appreciate that you do that.
Well, you know what? For me, I feel like a picture says, like they always say, a picture says 1,000 words, right? I feel like social media is so, the trolls and all that stuff. The Facebook and the Twitter and all, everybody has an opinion, I feel, so for me, Instagram is easier. I'm a family man. I enjoy my family. I enjoy my music. I enjoy my life. I try to stay positive. So if I can put a picture of my kids playing, that's what I do, and that's us. I don't have a location. I'm like, here's the house. Come on, visit, stop by. But I'm just, inviting you into. It's not just about the music. It's about taking these kids and teaching them about what's going on in the world, and being a daddy, being a husband. Not just being that rock guy, but being everything, and people understanding that we go through the same. To me personally, I go through the same things that everyone out there goes through. Even though they might think that our lives are different, they're not any different at all. We just get to be in front of people on a stage where we don't get to do that anymore. But that was the only thing that was different. And we get to share thought and emotion through song, and how luckily we're very blessed to do that.
Well, this has been great. Is there anything else you'd want to add?
Oh, thank you very much for taking the time, and I hope that with all the craziness out there, just stay safe, man.
Thank you. You as well. Yeah, definitely stay safe, and hopefully when things are safe, you guys can tour again and come here up to Michigan, Detroit and stuff, because we love you up here.
Oh, I didn't know, I realized it was Michigan. What up? I love you guys, man.
Yeah.
I look forward to getting back out there to Detroit. All over Michigan is always great for us. It's definitely somewhere that we've grown up in, so thank you again.
LJ from Sevendust, thank you for being an amazing guest on my show, and that new Sevendust record, Blood and Stone, out the 23rd of October, no matter when you're listening, either if you're listening the day that this podcast is live, then that is this Friday. If you're listening after the podcast is out, then the record is out now. So it is basically out just about now. And it's a great set, just chock full of melodic hard rock and heavy metal, which I think that Sevendust fans have come to know and love and expect from Sevendust. Nobody does melodic metal, melodic hard rock better than Sevendust. And very exciting about LJ's upcoming solo record, which we've been hearing about for a very long time, but very happy that it is almost finished and that hopefully we'll get that new music soon. Once again, thank you, LJ, for being a great guest, and thank you for hanging out with me, for rocking with me and keeping me company on the podcast. You are the best. Always great to hear from you, so don't be shy. Hit me up on social media. itsmeanne.com. That's ITSMEANNE.com. itsmeanne.com. You can link up on my personal Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right up there. And you can check out what the heck I look like, which you probably know what I look like from following Audio Inc. or following me on social media already. But if not, I know you're curious, so check that out. Also, lots of great interviews and content up on the Audio Inc. YouTube channel, the TV channel for Audio Inc., which is youtube.com/Audio Inc. Radio. That's INK like Tattoo Inc. AudioIncRadio.com for more. I've got interviews up there, many more exclusive fun things at audioinkradio.com. And don't forget, of course, to subscribe to the podcast, support the show. I really appreciate the great support. Leave a 5-star review. And finally, if you haven't yet, check out my band, Upon Wings, at uponwings.com. Female-led metal and rock music. Kind of operatic. Not over-the-top operatic. I could go that way because I've got this very operatic voice no matter what I do about it, but kind of semi-operatic, melodic metal music, uponwings.com. I've got so many great interviews lined up for both the podcast and the YouTube channel, so very excited to rock with you through the end of the year. It has been a crazy, wild year, but I know one thing for sure. I would not want to go through it with anyone but you. So thank you for being here with me. Until next time, be safe, God bless, and we'll rock soon.
It's Audio Inc. with Anne.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Audio Inc. Radio Podcast. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Get inked online at audioinkradio.com. I'm Anne Erickson for the Audio Inc. Radio Podcast.